Hello there, and welcome to another episode of my survival world. And it's been quite a while since I actually last recorded an episode because, to be honest, I've had some life things going on and I haven't really had the time, and also I just needed a bit of a break. But I'm back now and we'll go over some of those things later on in the episode. But for now, you've waited long enough and it's time for me to start building the rest of Mos Eisley. As you'll see, it's all laid out and ready. So let's get to building some of these smaller buildings and making it look more like a town. So that is the majority of this town finished, and I still have 3 buildings left to go, as you can see there. 2 of them still with the outline, because to be honest, we're probably going to be looking at doing those in the next episode. Oh, they just loaded in, that was quite cool. Yeah, we're going to look at doing those in the next episode because I'm not sure what I want to put in those, and I also need to put some farms inside of all these little buildings today. So that's what we're going to do next. But you will also notice that the round gap that I put there, I have dug out a little bit just to show you kind of where that's going to go. We are going to build that later in today's episode, and that will be the landing platforms on Tatooine. And I got a little bit of an idea for that, so hopefully that pans out well. But let's take a closer look at some of these buildings, because you may notice like this one here and this one here are kind of duplicated. I only actually went with I think 5 different designs. So we've got the double building here that are connected, and this is the only one that has the door on the front here, just to kind of hide it away. So inside of here we're going to be placing in some of our farms, which we don't need this sand block here, which I'll show you what I'm going to do for that in a minute, but I think I mentioned it in a previous episode anyway. And this will be 2 slots of that, so even though they're bigger buildings, they're still going to be the same farm, just 2 small individual parts of it. We then have the smaller buildings like this one over here, which is basically just sort of 1/2 of that. And also you'll notice I scattered a lot of these moisture collectors around the town. I think they really kind of bring the area together and make it feel more lived in, as well as at the end there you saw I added in these little satellite tower things on top of most of the buildings. This one in particular though, on some of the images I found of Tatooine or of Mos Eisley, they had this big kind of moisture collector / radio tower. I don't know exactly what it's for, but I think it came out really cool, and I think it really kind of brings the town together here. And just having something a bit taller than the rest of the buildings just helps it to stand out as well. You'll also see over here this kind of, it's like a bigger version of Luke's hut. And yeah, there's a building like this. It didn't turn out as well on top, like some of the sides. They look a little bit strange because the circle doesn't quite reach, but I think it does the job well. And I'm not sure what I'll put in here because this doesn't even have a door currently. We also have these little brown buildings here, and on the images they were like darker coloured buildings, and they were slightly taller and slightly smaller in terms of the width and the length of them, so I think they kind of look pretty good. I also, when doing this, I actually prefer this colour. If I was to do this again, I might actually go with the darker woods and just build all of these buildings out of it. But I think for now this is fine, and obviously I'm not going to go and rebuild everything. I built these last, which, you know, I noticed the colour looks better on the sand, but technically I want to go for a correct Star Wars look, and this colour of the buildings is closer to most of the buildings, so this wouldn't actually be the right colour. But then if you see down on my side here, I'm not sure what the hole in these buildings is for, and technically on the images the two that I've seen are next to each other. I just didn't really have the space over there, to be honest. These buildings are slightly bigger than the other ones, and in one of these I'm probably going to put my little wood stripping area to make like a proper setup for it. But as for the second one, I don't know yet what we're going to do with it. So yeah, overall I'm really happy with how the buildings came out, and I think it looks really cool, and I started to bring this build together. You'll also see I have already built this in my test world, I just haven't built it right now because I still need to build a ship to go in it, and I wanted to get on with this and I wanted to start making the farm here. But when I build this, you'll see it really does start to come together nicely, and it adds a good detail to the town, and I can't imagine what it's going to look like when I have these two buildings in as well. But for now, let's get on with making the farms to go inside of these buildings, and we're going to be making the wall farms. And you'll see down here in this shulker box I have a bunch of banners, and these are going to go above the doors. And I think I got two black here because I was going to put the black one in here because it's probably the most used colour, I guess, of the wall. I mean, obviously grey and light grey would also be used a lot, but those ones are easier to use with dyes because you don't need as much to make it. So I'm going to make the biggest area, either this one or one of those buildings with the hole in the top, as the black wall farm. That way I can put more sheep in there. So I'm thinking something like this. Either I put these on the sides here, or we can just do it down in the middle one here as well, and just put it up like this. So yeah, let's go get some sheep first. We'll bring them over and I'll grab some resources, some grass and some redstone, and we'll start building up these farms and hopefully get that done fairly quickly so that we can move on to the next build. So luckily I already had one sheep. That was the pink sheep that I found earlier in this season, and I also got this white sheep just from around the corner. So now I need to try and fly with them again to take them over to the island. Hopefully I went high enough. Ah, I lost them. To be fair, I could do this one at a time. You know what? Oh no, what's happened here? This is not going well. I'm just going to take the long way and I'm just going to swim there. Hold on. If you just do it out of the water, it just flies. Oh, that's amazing. Just worked first time. So rather than going up high in the sky, just do it from the water. Oh, hang on. I mean, look, it's not that far to go anyway, is it? Can I drown them? Oh, I can. That's not good. I think I'm just going to take two and I'm just going to breed the rest. I can't be bothered doing this over and over again. It really feels like the island is just not getting any closer to me. This is a bit annoying, but hang on a minute. The Wandering Trader finally despawned. The one that was stuck in the ocean all those episodes ago. Nice and easy. Now I need to try and not drop them in the Sarlacc pit. Wait. What happened? I think I must have been still attached to the boat and it just dragged them across. I only need the one. And one more thing that I want to do is I'm going to get a name tag. Just to name the original pink sheep so that I know which one it is, even though it doesn't really matter. And there we go, that guy is named and that guy is now pink, so we can start making the sheep that I need. Now I kind of want to work out the farms first, so I think what we'll do is we'll work out a little bit of a design and set up some grass in here as well. I haven't really looked at any designs, but I've seen some in the past and I'm assuming it's just something like this, and then maybe underneath we're going to need an observer. Like that, and then I guess just a redstone here. Then I guess we need to put a hopper minecart inside of this block or underneath this block. But then it's all going to be underneath, which isn't really ideal. Right, okay, I watched a video. I can probably layer these actually. So I could have 3 like this. And yes, I am using iron blocks to build my redstone on, because I'm at the point now where I have about 7 shulker boxes full of iron blocks, so I don't really care. I'm just going to do it this way. These iron blocks need to be replaced with hoppers because that's going to pick up the items. And I think 3 double chests of each type is more than enough. So these now need to go on here. And then we want the grass along here. And now I've run into an issue. How am I going to fill up these dispensers? And I'm back to the trading hall to get some glass, because I am not wasting my sand when I can just get it from trades. I did update all of these signs to include which ones have glass, because that was also getting pretty annoying. I'm just going to grab some pink dye from in here as well, because I want to try and make these all match up with the sheep as well. So we'll take a stack of 64 of those and see how many we use. Right, now I have full access. We got this little route down here. The question is, how far do I go with the colour matching theme? Do I use some pink wood here, but then not all the colours will have a wood? Or shall I just not bother with that and leave a plain wooden flooring for now? I think the design of the inside is not particularly important right now. It's just working out how to get the farm in, and that should be all set up and working. I've got some iron on me, so let me just put some items away somewhere if I can find some space in all of this mess. Alright, that will do for now. I also haven't even bred a single sheep yet, so that would probably be quite helpful. Luckily I have plenty of resources in terms of the breeding materials thanks to this villager farm in here. I have also kind of realised I just decided to put pink in here, but I never actually decided on the colours. So I don't know if this is where I want the pink one to be, but I guess it will do. Do you not like the door? Wait, do not go outside. Do not. You useless idiot. Get in, get in, get in. Nice. Now I need to shear it. Didn't really think about that part, did I? Ah, there we go. And it works. Excellent, excellent. Right, now I'm going to go through and fill up the rest of this farm, and then we'll work on all of the other rooms. Get in the hole. Right, to do this 45 times is going to be a very long process, considering it takes 5 minutes per sheep to wait for them to breed again. But I guess we'll just get on with it. So I have gone through and set up all of the farms inside of here, and I've also filled them all out completely with shears, so every single one is done. And I actually went through and changed the pink sheep farm that I made earlier, and I changed it to cyan, just because the pink one is the one I'm really not that bothered about, and it's been going while I've been doing all of this. And you can see I've got what, like about 6 stacks of wool, which is pretty decent for one of them. But when they're all going, I should be getting it quite quickly. So we've got the green one over here, and we have the what one is it round here? We've got the orange one and the purple one on these two back buildings over here, and they're also built up. And we've got the pink inside here, because these buildings are actually quite small, so it was really difficult to fit them in and give myself space to get in the door as well. So basically I've just got one, and I'm really not worried about the magenta or pink because I do have those farms for the dyes, so I can always just dye the wall. It's not an issue. And yeah, the pink one's over here. The black one, I have lots of that because that's probably the most important one. I use a lot of black wool for the carpets and stuff like that. And again, these are all filled out. And using the bigger building, I was actually able to fit 16 slots in here. So you can see there's just loads of double chests all scattered around. So that one has plenty of space for storage. Next to that, I put the grey and the light grey. Then we've got the yellow and red in this corner. And the next biggest building is this one over here. And actually, I was deciding which one to put in here. And I kind of realised there's something actually quite important. After building this and these things, I realised brown is used quite a lot. But on top of that, brown has the worst dye to collect. Now, I will be building a proper cocoa bean farm, but still, it's just the worst one to get. So I figured, why not make this the next biggest? It's not that much bigger though. It's only 5 slots, but that should do the job just fine. So now, I have also been breeding up the sheep, as you saw while doing that. I probably have way too many. They're very loud right now, but we're just going to start moving those in and putting them in the farms. So to begin with, we're going to start with the blue, and we'll just do that because it's close by. But I figured now I would take the time to mention what I was talking about at the start of the episode today, which was obviously the stuff going on in my life. And I mentioned in a previous episode a while back now, oh yeah, I forgot, they can't get in the door, can they? I mentioned that I was getting made redundant, and that has now officially ended. I am redundant and I currently don't have a job, but I'm looking for one. I've had a few interviews, although I haven't actually got anything yet. They're pretty promising, and hopefully I can get something soon. So on top of that, I was taking some time to sort of go through all of my documents, making sure all my CV and everything is correct, and this guy doesn't want to stay in. There we go. And once he's in, we just give him a little shear, and that should activate the farm, and we'll close that off and start moving the next one in. God, I tell you what, this farm, this many farms has taken me a lot of hours. It's taken a lot of time out of my day, but once it's done, it'll be very useful. So on top of me spending some time looking for jobs, I also did run into a bit of an issue with these videos, which was that I was really struggling with a particular project, which was the Nether project that I was doing last episode. I mentioned about putting some walls around the build, and I had an idea in my head, and to be quite honest with you, I spent a lot of hours trying to get it to work, and it just wasn't happening. Like, I didn't really have the understanding to do it, or whatever it is. My idea was bad, I don't really know. It just wasn't working out for me, so I kind of decided to take a step back from that project. I'll show you a bit of that later in the episode so you can see sort of what I was talking about and how bad it is. But overall, yeah, I decided it was... Whoa, I don't need that many. How many got out? Jeez. Sorry, let me just separate these guys out, because that was nearly terrible. I nearly had an island full of them. They are really struggling to walk. They're really struggling. Is he going to go inside? Please don't do that. Oh, he did. What a muppet. So yeah, that Nether project, I have kind of got a bit stuck with it and hit a bit of a problem where trying to do those walls isn't really working out right now. So I'm just going to leave it, and I'm going to finish up this Tatooine island. I'm kind of looking forward to doing the next part, which is Mustafar, but we'll see how long this actually takes. I think probably next episode I will finish the main part of this island, maybe even get it completely finished and tidied up. Although I will say the interior of these farms isn't looking very good right now. Obviously, I forgot to say, a lot of this is added in, so these don't need to be here anymore because this bit is now done. But still, look, it's not very clean inside, and they're very small buildings, so it's quite tricky trying to get a good design for it. Get down. Jeez. Guy's just walking on the edge. Come on, go inside, please. And there we go, all the light blue ones done. So I apologise for anyone who's been waiting for the next episode of this or has been waiting for me to do Mos Eisley. Just unfortunately been a little bit busy, but it's not deterred me or made me want to stop making videos, so I will continue, and hopefully from now I should get back on track with the 2 weekly upload. Even though I'm not working, I still have to spend a lot of time looking for jobs and stuff, so there's still things for me to do. Man, this is gonna take ages. There's so many sheep to do. And that's 5 colours done, 6 done, 7, 8, 9, 10, that is 11, 12, 13, 14, and that is 15 colours all done. And there we go, one just popped actually there. So that is all of the sheeps in place. And I did end up, oh, there he is. There was this guy accidentally got bred on the way over here, and he kind of was missing, so you might as well grow up and then I'll kill you and take your meat. Right, one thing I want to do is I don't want to be killing my pink sheep. This is probably going to be the easiest way to get rid of all these, isn't it? I know, I feel kind of bad about this, but you're lagging out. Look, they can't even walk properly. They don't even care, their mate dies and they just walk straight up to me. Yeah, I may have made a few too many there. That's a pretty cool glitch. Does it stay or will it pop off? Oh, it does pop. Damn it. That would have been pretty cool if it stayed. Alright, that is all cleaned up now. Let's go and take a little sleep, and then we'll come back after I've tidied up these shulker boxes over here. And this guy, he's going to be just sitting out in the main street as well. Well, I've tidied up all of that stuff except from what I'm going to be using for the landing platform, but also this shulker box. This was an entire shulker box of iron blocks, so all of that has been used either building in the farm or for the for all of the shears, so that's quite a lot. There's also something else I did want to take a quick look at, which was down here in my honeycomb farm. I was curious to see if the shears were even starting to run out on this. I mean, it's been running for a long time now. Obviously, I haven't always been in this area, but I was just curious to take a look, really. I've not even used one set. Wait. Not even one full set has been... I mean, I know that obviously there's like 16 across here that are being used times 9, so... yeah, that's kind of understandable. But still a bit of a surprise that not even one has been broken yet, which really just shows you how long those shears are going to last. Of course, the shears in the wool farm will probably run out a little bit quicker because they activate more often, but still, I'm surprised not even one's been used there. Also, let's take a quick look at the first sheeps that I put in, which was the cyan ones, and whoa, 3 stacks. Just under 3 stacks and just over, so 9 stacks pretty much of wool in like an hour, hour and a half that I've been doing this, which means the black wool is probably going to be quite fast. Tell you what, I'll leave this AFK for one night and I'll see how much I get, and tomorrow we'll come back, have a look at how many I've got, and then we'll get started on the landing pad to kind of bring this area a little bit more together when there won't be a big hole, and that will leave us with 2 buildings left. So I've left this overnight, and you can see in here I have quite a lot. It's actually about 10 stacks per box, which means I've got about 3 double chests worth of the black wool, and the other ones are pretty much all exactly the same, of like 1 line of wool and then a little bit extra. So at this point I have about 10 double chests worth of wool, if you include all colours. So that is actually quite amazing. I don't think I'm going to even need to AFK here for a while. But now, let's move on to the next bit. Let's start building up this landing bay. And that is the landing bay finished. Funnily enough, to build all of these little houses actually took me about 2 hours. And to build this landing bay also took me 2 hours because of the little details. It was just a bit more difficult placing in all the items. And I'm not sure if you can tell what this vehicle is here. You might not have seen it. I think most of the Star Wars fans who watch all the media would have seen it. And it's my most questionable vehicle so far. I think it's the least good one out of all of the ones I've built. But I think it's good enough and I'm happy with it because it's hidden down here. It's not the end of the world. And that is the Razor Crest from The Mandalorian. Now, originally, I was going to put the Millennium Falcon in here. But as you can see, it's quite a small area. And I want to really do the Millennium Falcon properly. So we will probably do that next episode. And I think I'm going to put it somewhere in the sky up here. Or I'm trying to kind of keep it away from other vehicles. Maybe just like over here flying off the side of the island, but then there's this one here, or we could have it at the back. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out once I actually get a design going for it. But in that time lapse, you may have also noticed that I built some obsidian into this, and that is because this is going to be a nether portal, and I'm going to have a nether portal for each island. And you may think that's a bit strange considering that I have one over here. However, this will come back to my Nether Hub project, and you'll see later on why I've done that. And also, I mean, come on, like, this is a good place for a Nether portal. It's cool, but it doesn't really make a lot of sense. This is a really cool place for a Nether portal, to have it inside the ship, so like you go into the landing bay. The only thing I didn't do was sort of build the interior of these walls, because there wasn't really a lot of space to work with. And I just kind of blacked out these doors because I didn't think it was necessary. It's not somewhere that I'm going to be doing a lot of stuff or work in. It was just simply to add to the town. And something else that I didn't actually mention in the earlier clips was this. Now, of course, it's a little bit big for the town. I built the same one that I built over at Luke's house. So we do have 2 of these land speeders. And we also have the miniature version down in this area here. But I wanted to have this for obvious reasons. With the armor stands, I'm going to be doing the scene that everybody knows and loves, which is these are not the droids you are looking for. I have to do it, right? If I'm going to do this area, it has to be done. The other thing is I wanted to put the Millennium Falcon in here so that I could do the Jabba the Hutt scene where Han Solo is stepping on his tail. Whoops, I didn't mean to click that. But yeah, I think now probably what I'll do instead is I'll just have Mando down here, and I'll do a couple of the little pit droids, maybe him pointing at them in an angry expression. But now let's grab the coordinates for this nether portal just so that I can get it in the correct place. Right, I've cleared out a bit more of an area in here so that I can link these portals up, and this should be the correct spot for this portal. So let's take a look. If I just activate this, please do connect back to my Razor Crest. But now why you done that? There's a portal here, right here. This thing's annoying. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if I link this up now. Now it should be linked, surely. Perfect. Is it going to work on the return? It does. Oh, lovely. Absolutely amazing. There we go. So now Tatooine is also linked up to the Nether. I'm never going to be using it to go over to here, just to this little island. Obviously, I'm just going to fly over there. But you'll see later on in the series when I build my Nether hub, there is a purpose to this. So don't worry, that is coming. Hopefully at the time when I finish this island, that's when I'll be working on the Nether hub. I don't know how long it's going to take. It's quite a big project, so we'll see about that. One other thing I did want to do here was I was going to take this sheep and link it to this. That's why I kept it there on the post. So he's right in the middle of town as a little mascot, my original pink sheep that I found. Now there is one other thing that I said I was going to go over in this episode, and that is the project in the Nether where I was building Darth Vader's castle. And yeah, let's just cut to me being in a creative world so I can show you what I'm talking about. So this was the original idea that I had, which was using glass to kind of make a fog effect, although because of the amount of space I couldn't do too many layers. And so I ended up just using the colours behind it to just sort of mask that and make it look a bit blurry. I personally think it looks pretty awful. The sky is not too bad, there's some good texturing in there, but this was a very basic version, and I kind of, yeah, I'm just not happy with it. And I couldn't think of a different way to do it other than trying to do like a really detailed, using random blocks to actually make a backdrop. The other problem is this takes about 200,000 glass to do, and that's not even including the final layer here to box in the whole thing. Yeah, and I just don't think it suits the aesthetic of the build, so I took a step back from it. I went back to Mos Eisley, I started working on that, and now I think we'll just wait until the first few islands are finished and I'll come back and finish this. I'm really happy with how the castle came out, so I don't really want to mess with it anymore, and I don't want to build something this large that I'm going to have to take down because it doesn't suit properly. Now there is 2 buildings here that I still haven't done anything with, and this one here is empty, as well as this one round here is also still empty. I do actually know what I want to put in these though. So in this one I'm going to make a little wood stripping area. I'm going to make like quite a technical one with some way to drop the wood and basically save me from sitting there going through the stacks and having to click things. So hopefully that should work out quite nicely. I'm not sure if I should do a piston one or if I should I do a piston one or should I do just a single block? I don't know yet. We'll see what I decide to go with. But we're going to build that in the next episode. And also this one over here, I believe the best thing I can do in here is just to do a little cocoa bean farm, because I do need those and I don't need a lot of space for it. I'm just going to have a few lines with some pistons to push them off, and then I have to manually put them back on anyway. So that is not really a big project, and that will also get done in the next episode. So coming up for the next episode, we've got these 2 farms to do, and then we have these 2 buildings. The question really is, what am I going to put in these 2 tower-like buildings for farms? I don't really know at this stage, and I'm happy to take any suggestions if anyone thinks of anything. Stuff that I'm thinking of is like maybe a green dye farm, because even though I do have this little cactus smelter bit here, I guess I could just put some chests instead of having it drop them into lava, because this is smelting the cactus, so that would be quite useful. Yeah, maybe, you know, like a vine farm or an amethyst farm, something like that. I do have a data pack on that allows me to silk touch the amethyst, the budding amethyst, so I can make a farm in a separate location, which is quite cool. But that will be all for today's episode. I really hope you enjoyed, and I hope you like how Mos Eisley is turning out. Thank you very much for watching. I have spoken.